Kone rabi lego kone lego lem okonwa wat kone waworo kasien na foi matatu bwana. Ye achien ye wacha kepoyo jo mapero wa tibu bishop iwo papa magenti kan todi kamil papa ye agara adwa foi madie todo ba atama wan tiki la wora makone eno bituche ento ano bilogo lok machigo to twan dake ariyo keke kinyi nyia por Kasimiro be patro yagago obino ite dulu gulong as diocese tienu obino pe kuch obilo kodok be kuch woro kije mopon kuch woro kitija tia garachia la che tiki wa kuchu betie kucha obale kikom dunyo twin garachia la che gena yitamo chitimo romo kelo pero ikomi uyeko na kunyo ge machokri do kwani kujo pere chiale rapo yo macharo keman mane kutia na me chiale beru ento ke pe kuja wan ko ga wan me kuchi me rapo bene pare makabega ma ero pero wape karma na tetwal sifra ma tiki makan engeo ana foi ma tetwal donc idaki ya wandok awach ni kuch weko betie komeda nyim kuch umier ko wuok king'ol mati wan pod kar watero kuch ripe kaachiel kidur makiluongo ni Justice and Peace Commission magien bende tikidwa kanyo no watiyo maber dotwan pi kuch we kuch ubetie umier ng'ol mati kobetie chikuch wuora nyim kuch meke kuch ubere ywan ento ka ng'ol mati peke kilogo kilumi dok chikuch bebero peke ikienwa wan ya chuli wang'eyo ni ng'ato achiel tiki dok tiche machalo lachuo tiki tiche dako tiki tiche atamo bende kode lagambe bero tie kiembe Bible wacho ni lachuo ayo nomier kotim jembe weng' ma ilogo ni ento lachuo tama ni imi lakony kore mo weko kwanyo dako kikome kao wachi komine kon kene bebi ikimete kwara churi bene je mokele tikatime bakero kuwe barunyo kuch wan yani Bible wacho ni lacho mier kotim jeme wengu yeyen okor mach utim bi chero dwake enta ya churi dok yen mapa dako ka initiyo pi yiri ye chwale yo duong dok ni yiri tika donyi dok tiche aya gigi dok kelo kugo chika kayo ni atamo ni kawaribu jeme ni kaachie chikuch bebero tie bien wane duju wa tikini die makamegwa wachiero yolega wano ng'ich mabeje mapol ikiembete kwaro bene kiet makitiyo gani tie jeme ni kago kero kaachie chikuch bebero tie uye wega wachne nino matien wantin watie ilok me kuch makarne na nege tero kiet mawan duo wawuoro nyo wabedo pede ento wan machalo kombere watie watero kia ikara moja wapeme kuch dano tikato wa kombere chaba ni ikomaro ni achuli unyo ilok paduo wan waribe walogo bere kilo diro kara moja ento tikira chiel mana gamme en yo machalo kitman kombete mana logone lotielo bulu maromo aliba ngwen do ko renyo machalo anok magen biro kaka mutie ilogo nao itesu ka chiel ka churi ka chiel kila bu kikwera wajini dano alok maromo aliba ngwen do ko renyo maka chiel kara moja ibindo ngone lotielo kitima tuata monto tima tuata chiwa timo kikwera wano ni luen ki joko ban majal kirman ki moduko peromo kitte kwaro mo kene yiti ma wego na tien do ki wit moni bagi nero eno chano pe ban ento ga mujama yene dwoko ne gangi ni yi ko gina ko makaro ko mbang makko aloke kwa nyo ya chiel imiyo banye latine miyo we okere oneno da wuone gi chielo piny karo wiye kurkiar ne chere pan dia chere chibere gima we ko gima bero mabe ere ye kuchi kibero piny machalo kiet mar chobin yang kinwa chiata ore balok mapol pega chiel mo bekelo we ko kuch bero pega logo wan wangere watika kijeme ma wachamo yo mar marach mane lo biro dini ye we no ke yo mo medwen na ne ke wa ni kuch ko betie kuchar ke wa ni kuch dugu mudugu yo le ato kuch pega tiki ko yo marach lo tena nyera maka megwa tika nywan ma pigi nyiew wi paro teno lo tena ngato mo madong neno ke pega ngato mo madong dor ke pega latin dong ke da dong kede adong e okome ko tiyo tich mano dong kero winu kuch ya ngato mo mador pega tiki lokman atawle pega cham chawa para wora ana po e matek kwan twinya beri jom wombe medeki kube irwamo ke ken ma waro to erne ana po e matek kwan.
All the bishops and the clergy in their various capacities, the religious men and women, the cultural and political leaders, all peace pilgrims, I greet you all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I am called Baptist Latin. I'm the chief of Power, and my palace is in Gulu, but our people cuts across the whole Ajuri sub-region. I want to start by saying this. When I saw the program for inviting the professor to come and make a speech, I was like saying, this was meant for us, the cultural leaders. Why do they bring this guy here? But when he made his speech, I was overwhelmed with joy. And the reason being, it has made me understand that almost all of us in northern Uganda, we almost have the same road. So what I would think is that there is no reason for us to be conflicting with one another. I've come here not to present myself in a scholastic manner, in a scholarly manner, but I want to present to you myself in a practical way. I want to share with you my experience in peacemaking. Many times I've been talking about peace, but in principle, I only came to learn about peace well when you follow this story as it comes. I grew up an orphan. And as an orphan, there's one thing I have to tell you. Things were not always easy. In the hand of a single mother who was supposed to take care of us, that also made it very difficult for her to provide all the education needs we really require. Survival was not easy. And I always tell people, if you are an orphan, you believe me, you'll always live in pain. And the main thing is here, why am I an orphan? And this is what I was told when I was even still very young in P3. Your father has been killed by Amin. And as I grew up, if you mention to me the name Amin, that was the most painful moment you have given me. I was so grieved with a lot of bitterness in my heart, with all the feeling that if opportunity could be given to me, I was always dreaming of how I can revenge the death of my father. The spirit of revenge is what I grew up with most of my time. I want to tell you the level of bitterness I had. When I was one time working as a councillor in our municipality, the Guru was still a municipality, not yet a city. We were sharing that same council with one of the lady called Esther. You know this Esther. I never knew any story about Esther, but Esther was formerly the wife of Amin, with whom they also had children. So when there was organization taking place here for the funeral of the late president, the lady asked for support and accompaniment as she would be coming here for the funeral of her husband. My boss told me that you go and represent us in that program. You go with her and you will represent us. The way I responded was not easy. I told my boss, my father was killed by Amin. How do you expect me to go for his funeral? That was the level of bitterness I had. If you mention to me the name Amin, you have tormented me for 2 weeks. Just only mentioning the name Amin once. It was very painful. And one who used to hurt me most was one of our kinsmen, who was named also after me. He's called Amin. Whenever I see this guy, I feel like things were not good for me. But then I want to tell you this. On the 15th of June, 2015, that is the time when I experienced a change in my life. I had what I would call a turning point in my life. We had a meeting here in Arua. The meeting was also all about peace. So, during the meeting, somebody came and stormed the meeting, and he was warmly welcomed. And he was introduced as being the son of the former president. If you were myself, what would you imagine? Things became very hard for me. Things were not easy and very remorseful. But then, I did not keep it to myself. I had to share it with my friend. I told him the difficulties I was in. When that friend of mine heard that story, then he said, accept and let the name Amin hurt you no more from today. And he took on his work. He began talking to the the religious leaders who were there, telling them my stories and how the issue could be approached. The following day, which was the 16th, I had to come face to face to Jaffa, Remo, and Amin and share my stories to him. The difficulties I passed through as a death of my father. that makes the name Amin something terrible to me. So he also came in openly to say something which was of importance. He accepted and said, it's true that during his father's reign, a number of things went wrong. And for him, he asked for forgiveness. I should forgive him, and everyone who is there who might have been hurt in the same way should also forgive him. And I was left with no option but to say, I've forgiven you and your family. And the level goes very far. To me, I never knew I was a person who was holding that family in my heart. And I never knew I was rotting. I never knew my heart was full of pus, which it was that day, it was open and the pus flowed out. Many people talk about deliverance, but I think that was the day I was delivered. It was the day I really was delivered. My heart was like, the pus is now out, and of course with some little pain. And I think from that day, things changed completely in my life. Today, as I talk, I have to tell you, Jaffa Remamir is my best friend. He is not only a friend, but also a brother. And I've always shared with him, sat together with him, and at a table together. Meaning, from that time, we are now one. I was trying to organize for a ceremony in my palace. But when I went back home and shared the history, the story to my elders at home, you know what they say? Then they behave like Thomas. They say, unless they see the son of a man with them, they will not believe that any reconciliation took place between me and Jaffa. That also gave me a lot of work. I had to begin looking for him, invite him to come to my place for that big celebration. And on the 29th of October 2016, we were able to have that ceremony done from home. By the way, I want to say this. It was actually his first time to step in Guru. That was the first time Jaffa stepped in Guru. And the ceremony was well conducted. A number of people who also had grievances, in the same way as I had, also got healed. It leads me now to say this. If we ever talk about peace, then I think we have to emphasize more on issues of reconciliation. As humans, we are prone to make mistakes. We should learn to accept our mistakes. We should learn also to forgive others, those who might have done you wrong, so that we give time for reconciliation to take place. Reconciliation is something very important. I'm not going to talk about it now, because if I'm to keep talking about reconciliation, then the sun is going to set. Our traditional perspective of reconciliation, I'm not going to say anything about it now. But I will still insist that issues of reconciliation is very important. when the Prime Minister of Arua Kingdom was talking about the emphasis on reconciliation, the reason why this program should be taken there, the emphasis on reconciliation. So I think I leave this before you and I stop there. I want to thank everyone and I bless everyone to have peaceful stay here. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.